In Lesson 2.2, we're going to look at adding and subtracting rational numbers. How can a number line be used to show a football team's progress? In one series of plays during Super Bowl 35, the New York Giants received a 5-yard penalty before completing a 13-yard pass. The number line shows the yards gained during this series of plays. The total yards gained was 8 yards. So they both had a loss of 5 and a gain of 13, which gave them a cumulative gain of 8. A number line is a nice visual way to see how to add signed numbers. So to find 8, I go 8 units to the right. Plus -5, I need to go 5 units back to the left. So positive units move to the right, negative to the left, and I end up at positive 3. If we're adding -1 plus -4, I'm at -1, and I need to go 4 more units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to leave me at -2, -3, -4, -5. Here's their professionally made graphic of the same thing. 1 unit to the left, 4 more units to the left, I end up at -5. And I look back at part A so we can see if we can get a relationship. So we had 8 units to the right, 5 units back to the left, we ended up at positive 3. So if the signs are the same, these guys are going in the same direction, so we end up just adding the absolute values of the numbers, keeping the same sign. If the signs are opposite, so this was a positive 8 and a -5, 5 of those units zeroed out. -5 plus 5 is 0, and I ended up with 3 positives. 8 was the bigger number of the two. So our big idea is to add rational numbers with the same sign, add their absolute values. The sum has the same sign as the add-ins. To add rational numbers with different signs, subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater. The sum has the same sign as the number with the greater absolute value. So if we want to add 6 plus -14, their signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 14 minus 6 is 8, and my sign is going to be negative because 14 has the bigger absolute value. These two fractions have common denominators and the same sign, so all we have to do is add -3 plus -2 is -5, and our denominator was 7. So they're going in the same direction we just added. Every positive rational number can be paired with a negative rational number. These pairs are called opposites. The opposite of -4 is positive 4. The opposite of positive 5 is -5. A number and its opposite are additive inverses of each other. When you add the two opposites, the sum is always 0. The sum of a number and its additive inverse is 0. For every number a plus -a is 0. 2 plus -2 is 0. -4.25 plus 4.25 is 0. 1/3 plus -1/3 is 0. Additive inverses can be used when you subtract rational numbers. 9 minus 4 equals 5. That's the same as 9 plus -4. So 4 and -4 additive inverses. You get the same result, they're both 5. This example suggests that subtracting a number is equivalent to adding its inverse. Or instead of inverse, we could say opposite. To subtract a rational number, add its inverse. For any numbers a and b, a minus b is the same as a plus the opposite of b. So instead of 8 minus 15, you could write 8 plus -15 because they both equal -7. In the past year, a publishing company's stock went from $52.08 per share to $70.87 per share. Find the change in the price of the stock. All we have to do is subtract the end minus the beginning. And if you want to, you could line them up to subtract. 17 minus 8 is 9. Borrow again. 10 minus 2 is 8. So I get an increase of $18.79. To add rational numbers with the same sign, add their absolute values. The sum has the same sign as the addends. To add rational numbers with different signs, subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value. The sum has the same sign as the number with the greater absolute value. To subtract a rational number, add its additive inverse.